Hey everyone, this is Jenny from Homestead Corner, and today we are making a wonderful zucchini relish. So today we're going to be making up a zucchini relish. These zucchinis got rather large, so these are the ones I use for my relish because I'm going to cut the seeds out anyway, and I like to save the small ones for eating. And right now we have so many zucchini, it's just crazy. So you want to make sure that you give these a good wash before you get started. And then I'm just going to take a little bit off the top, and you want to make sure you get this blossom end off. That blossom end causes it to get all soggy and stuff, so you want to make sure you take that off. So I'm just going to cut these down. I'm going to remove any seeds that are in here. This seed part, I'll just slice that right out. So any of those little seeds in there, we want to get rid of those. We don't want those in the relish. So again, I'm just going to take those out, and I'm just going to dice this up really small into relish size pieces, just nice small dices. Try not to take any extra though, because I want as much as I can. And I want about 4 to 5 cups of chopped zucchini when I get done. That's what I'm looking for. That's usually 2 big zucchinis or a handful of small ones. So we're just gonna slice these into like little sticks, kinda. I don't know if you can see that. These are like little sticks, and then just slice them down small. Into nice tiny relish pieces. And if they're too big, you can just cut them up a little bit more. And we're just going to keep cutting until I have 4 to 5 cups all cut up. I have my zucchini all cut up, so now I'm just going to cut up a large onion and a whole bell pepper to go with it. And we're just going to get those cut, and we're going to dice them down just about the same size so we can get this all put together. Alright, so we have everything cut up, and I'm going to add my zucchini right into a big bowl. We're going to get all that right in there. And then we're going to add our chopped onion right in. You want a whole large onion chopped up. And a whole bell pepper I've got. We're going to add that right in there. All right. I love making relish. It really is easy, and it's so delicious. And we're just gonna mix this all up. The peppers and onions and zucchini. Then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of pickling salt. We're going to put that right over the top. And then we want to mix this a little bit, but we're going to add water to this. We want to scrape the sides down and get it kind of even. We're going to cover this with nice cold water. So once we have this covered in nice cold water, I'm going to give it a little stir. We want to get that all mixed around in there. And I'm going to cover this, and we're going to set it in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours we want this to sit. And that's gonna help draw out juices and keep this nice and crispy so it doesn't get all soggy. So we're just gonna cover this and pop it in the fridge. Okay, so our vegetables have been in the refrigerator soaking for about 3 hours, and I am going to get started on the liquid for this relish. And we're gonna use 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. We're just gonna add that right in there. Got 2 cups, and then we're gonna use 1.5 cups of just cane sugar. Put that right in. And then I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of celery seed. I just love the celery seed. Yummy. And we're gonna add a tablespoon of mustard seed also. I think the recipe originally called for like yellow, but I like these brown ones, so we're just gonna put a tablespoon of those right in there. And we're gonna bring this up to a boil. And we want to get that nice and hot. While we're heating up our liquid on the stove and bringing that to a boil, we are going to take our vegetables and we're going to drain them out in a strainer. And I'm also going to give this a really good rinse. We want to rinse off all that salt. If you don't rinse this enough, it will be salty. So you want to give this a really good rinse. And I like to dig right in and turn it around and make sure it gets rinsed really, really well. Once we got it rinsed really well, we're going to let it sit in the colander while we finish getting our liquid together and boiling, and we're going to let this just drain right out in the colander while we get everything together. Once we got this up to a good rolling boil, we're going to add our veggies. So we've got all our veggies in there, and we're just going to give this a nice good stir. And we're going to bring this back to a boil, and once it's boiling, we're going to simmer this for 5 minutes. And while we're doing all this, I've got my jars in the canner heating up, and they're doing a 10-minute boil in there, so they will be nice and sterilized once we have this ready to jar up. We've got our relish all ready to jar up. So we're going to grab 2 jars out of the canner. They're super hot and nice and sterile. And we're just going to start filling our jars. Oh, need the funnel. We're going to leave 1-inch headspace on these. We're going to fill right up to that line. And I'm going to do 2 of these at a time so I can keep them nice and hot. I want to keep these super hot. And then we're going to just push that all down in there. It's all peaked up. Just want to make sure there's no air bubbles. There's not usually too many in relish, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Just move everything around. Same thing over here. And then we're going to take some white vinegar, and I like to wipe my rims with white vinegar. So we'll just put a little bit on the paper towel, and we'll give these guys a good little wipe, because this has some sugar in it and all kinds of stuff, so we don't want it to have a bad seal. We want these seals to work. And then a nice fresh lid. And rings. And that is our relish. These are ready for the canner. We're going to pop these in the canner, and we're going to keep filling jars. Woo, those are hot. We've got all 6 of our jars in the canner. We're gonna get this up on high, bring this to a boil, and once it's boiling, we're gonna process this for 10 minutes. And there you have it, 6 half-pint jars of zucchini relish. I like to let these sit in the pantry for at least a couple of weeks before I eat it, so all those flavors can really get together, and this is just so delicious. This is another one of our favorites, and a great way to use up that zucchini if you've got extra. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye!